Custom Classics. Thanks for coming. We're gonna talk hot rods tonight. Any questions you got, just feel free to ask. I got Larry the Kozlowski, the hot rod. Uh, uh, you consider yourself a guru, right? I would.
I'm a fabricator.
Anyway, so we're here. We're inside. There's a blizzard going on outside tonight. So, um, let's talk some hot rods. I guess customs, whatever.
Yeah.
Where we're gonna. Oh, I wanted to tell you, Larry. I drained my gas tank out of the
Mhm.
because my gas tank was leaking. If you
Yep.
remember, I completely drained it out. I used a little electric fuel pump and I drained up my gas tank out. And I'm gonna try that new gas tank sealer I got. The
Mm.
the JB Weld stuff was a little. I don't know. The JB Weld stuff it didn't get into the cracks. This I have the product. I should just go grab it. It's
Yeah.
more of a liquid, like an epoxy liquid that goes.
Uh,
It just like paints on the top of the crack, keeps the gas tank from leaking.
yeah.
I'm gonna try that. But
Gas is vicious to fix. If you're working on a tank, you have to have that thing so clean you can't imagine to get it to stay. I
yeah,
mean, you get pinholes all the time in tanks. Otherwise good tanks, but they have to be so clean. Got to get that fuel out of there and wipe them with alcohol, because alcohol is the only thing I found that will take the last morsel of oil off.
right.
And then they'll stay for you.
Well,
Otherwise, you're going to have a hell of a time.
plus the gas tank was stinking up the garage. A slow leak like that's
Mm,
horrible. Um,
yeah.
so hopefully I get that so I can put gas back in the car, and then I got to get a starter too. The original starter is taking a crap. Maybe it was the cold. I don't know, but
Mm,
I think all the way up to I think they make I'm talking Mopar stuff. 80 like a 83 Durango in that area. I think it's 80s. There's
mm,
a Durango starter fits the car. And it's actually a smaller
okay.
it's a smaller starter.
Yep.
So I can if I put headers on, which I'm probably gonna put headers on it. It's like it acts as a smaller starter. All right, we got 8
Mm,
people on. Any questions for Larry and me talking hot rods? Let us know. Type it in here. You name it. Hot rods, custom and classics. Any questions? Give us a shot. Larry's on board
yeah,
tonight. We're in a blizzard tonight. Uh, blizzard outside. Blizzard warnings. We're in the Northeast. We're supposed to get anywhere from 8 inches to 40. So, and 50-mile-an-hour winds. So, any questions? Let's hear it.
yeah.
So, what are you working on, Larry? Anything?
Well, I'm finishing up two cows for brass era Franklins, which are really weird cars. But these are for the Race of America thing, where they go across the country in these brass era cars. These
Oh,
are
wow.
my friends from Westchester. My buddy John down there is really into Franklins. People who don't know Franklins, we kind of met because I had a frame jig long enough to build the frame for his Speedster, which is 14 foot, which is an enormous frame for an early car. Franklins are monster cars, and the motor is like 6 feet long, air cooled, with all these copper fins on the cylinders and stuff. This man is a genius on this thing. He knows like every part number and every piece of them coming anywhere. So I've been working on those. He brought me two cows. He had the wood bucks made up for him, and I'm doing the metal work and the brass work on the cows. They're almost finished.
Oh, hold on a second.
Pretty neat though.
Franklins are compared to like a Packards, the early Packards, and I mean
Yeah, they were like more like like maybe like a Curtis or an Otto, or Willie's Knight, maybe. Huge cars. Cadillac plus size cars,
What
but they
motors
they
are?
were really cool.
What
They
motors are?
they use they have 6 cylinders in them. All the ones I've seen were sixes, inline six, but they were air cooled. They never had a radiator. So around the cylinders, they had these copper fins around all the cylinders to dissipate the heat. I came across one up in uh, like outside of Sunbury. There was a fellow some when I get there, he had a Franklin coupe, which was a 1930s era coupe. The ones that we're working on are much earlier cars. They're I think the one he has that he's building into the Speedster is a 1914, and but they were just enormous cars. The wheels are like 4 feet high. They're huge.
Yeah.
Not very wide, but very, very large,
They're made out of
and
they were made out of wood, weren't they?
the frames were wood, although some of the frames we've been making for them are we've been duplicating the wood pieces in steel just for durability on the race, and
Right.
they this is the race goes all the way across America. They take these 1910 cars, 1914 cars. I don't even think on that thing there's very many cars in the 20s. They're all earlier cars. And although I'm no expert on that race,
No.
they do uh, they're very old cars, and they run reliably. It's really funny. He had about 2 years ago, he calls me up from I think New Hampshire. They thing, and he had it courier, and I take the rocker up and put it back in, and the last I heard, still running because they're damn near impossible to get parts for, obviously.
Oh yeah.
So anything he finds this Franklin Club they have down there, they seem to uh, they will, like, if one guy actually has parts, they will pass them around and have castings made to make more parts.
Right.
I mean, very, very resourceful club, good guys.
I mean, you
And
you really got to be into that because obviously there's nobody left from that era. I mean,
I know.
I mean, you're going back, 1910,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
those cars are at the museum, really.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They're really, it's Great Gatsby cars. It's older than Great Gatsby cars. It's like I don't even know what movie to equate that
How
to,
about
that era.
Shitty Chitty Bang Bang? There you go.
Yeah, yeah. Kind of a bad interpretation, you know.
That one they don't
I think
fly.
well,
Obviously.
that was a Stutz. That was a Stutz, wasn't it? I think it was a Stutz it was made out of. They're pretty strange, Beverly Hillbillies car was like a 1920s Oldsmobile.
Yeah.
So, they were like, everything got homemade, back then. A lot of alterations and whatnot. But definitely, pretty cool. I'm looking at some of the stuff being sent in. Some of the guys are evidently familiar with Franklin's and brass era cars. They know those things. I was never really into them too much. John kind of got me into them, and now they're like so cool to look at. I've never driven one. They look like a handful in the open road.
Aren't they
When you're out.
mechanical brakes too? I mean, there's just
Oh
it's just
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. There's no hydraulics. And most of them are just rear wheel brakes. A lot of them are chain drive cars. No real differential, just a live chain drive. Uh, you just kind of slip and slide like driving a 4-wheel drive on dry ground. You kind of get through the corners and stuff, but they don't go very fast. But you can get maybe 50 mile an hour out of them or something. But they're pretty cool. They're
I
really
mean,
neat.
they were running alcohol in them, weren't they? Because there was no
Uh,
gasoline back then.
oh yeah, yeah. There's gasoline, benzene.
Well,
They were gasoline. They didn't run it. They were the alcohol they put in was it's a lot of those cars back then. They did not have antifreeze back there, no glycols or anything like that. So they used alcohol uh in the cooling system, to keep them from freezing. Or if you were very industrious and didn't have the money, which a lot of people didn't, they had valves like all Model A's. Uh, you know, they had a valve on the bottom of the block, and when you came home at night, you would drain the water out and then refill it again in the morning, so it didn't freeze and crack your block overnight. But that was one of the big things about a Franklin. Uh, they could because they were air cooled motors, they didn't need any antifreeze, so they didn't have the block cracking problem, which was a notorious problem back then.
yeah,
You only got to mess up once. And that's why there's, a lot of flatheads that there's a lot of flatheads that would be good blocks, but they all got broken because people didn't put antifreeze in them. So you get all those rail blocks down the bottom that break where the main web is. A
right.
lot of them break down here. You can find those blocks everywhere. But I don't know how many people out there are listening or anything like that. I'm looking for some early parts now for a Roadster, and I'll tell you, it just seemed like things dried up big time over the last year. You used to be able you could go on Facebook Marketplace and there'd be a half a dozen banjo rears for sale and transmissions and flatties. They're like nothing out there. I mean, it
I think
disappeared off the face of the earth.
I think everybody's hoarding everything is the problem. Um,
Somewhat.
cause like I'll give you an example. My buddy out in California has a tractor trailer filled. He's
Mhm.
just been over the years. I mean, he's in his 80s. He's been
Mhm.
hoarding parts, and he has, I don't want to say he has all of them, but he has anything I need. Uh, and he's keeping them. But now he's
Mhm.
starting to sell because what's he going to do with them? Is basically because here's what's going to happen. We're all going to die. There's a 1 in 1 chance we're all going to die. But
Pretty
when
good
he
odds
pa-
there.
when he passes away, he already said, he goes, my kids don't want this stuff. They're just gonna have an auction, get rid of everything anyway. So he's starting to let go of the parts because you
Mm.
know i- 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 and you just can't ask a fortune for this stuff too. Uh
Yeah.
I'm dealing with, I might have found another parts car. I got a, how can I put it? I sold some parts. I sold some tires and rims about 2 weeks ago to a guy. And he said to me, he goes, you know what? I have I got a 67 Chargers that's out in the woods. I think it's got a tree going through it. And I said, I'll take it. I said, just
Mhm.
just let me know. I'll come up, I'll drag it out. It's gotta be something on it that I can use because the dash, the seat frames, I need front seats. And
Mhm.
I've been looking for front seats, man, for quite some time, and I can't find anything. So
Oh,
uh, it doesn't matter what year car you got, you're always looking for something. And
yeah.
I don't want to pay I know if I go to Carlisle, I'm going to find what I need, but it's going to be, how much do I want to pay for it? That's the
Yeah.
thing, because it's costly. It's a costly sport.
Yeah. Well, everything costs money. It's like we're both of us were former musicians, and what that costs now. You might as well
Oh yeah.
you might as
Uh,
well have a good crack habit. It's nuts. I think if I have to, I'll end up at Hershey, or Carlisle, and I
yeah.
know I can get what I want. I'm probably
Right.
not going to get it for what I want to pay for it, but there's a couple of good swaps coming up. The AACA meet at Hamburg, PA is is coming up on the March 1st, I think. It's a Sunday, I believe. And that's always a good one. But it's if you don't find what you want there, it gives you a chance. You go up to ask a couple of vendors who have stuff out. Hey, you got one of these laying at home, and there's a good possibility somebody's going to have what you want.
Yeah.
The 78 case boxes, the 39 trans has they have definitely not a lot of those around, and they haven't been around for a while. Usually, what I do is I'll buy a side shift box and put the guts into a top shift case, which you can do it's easy to do. Those transmissions are like, that's like working on the world's easiest thing. So, they're pretty good. I did locate a Krager adapter from the early 1950s, maybe mid 50s, I would say. That this fellow sending me to put the 39 box up against a 283. I've come across a couple of 283s. They're pretty easy to get. And, a lot of people don't want them. They're a great motor. There's a lot of 265s out there because I avoid them because of the oiling problems with the 265. They've had issues over time. They had that weird annular ring oiling system on the cam, and Chevy got rid of it in 56 and 57, or late 56, early 57. They got rid of that and went to their typical drilled rail oiling system, works much better. 265 are really cool motors though, but just too much trouble to keep if you're going to drive them any amount of time. I really detest getting towed home from the shore. So, it's no fun on a flatbed. But
No.
I like 283s. I swear there's nothing you can do to those things to kill them.
They're still out there too. You can.
Oh, there's
I
lots of
see
them.
them. I see them
Yeah.
all over.
Yeah, and they're cheap, But the thing about them is the reason I have such a hot desire on it for this roaster, is because one thing is they're very easy to cool. Those things are a cucumber, and
Right.
I can cool them with a relatively small radiator, and I can't get a very large radiator in front of a 27 Roadster with a Doane Spencer sweep on the front. Your radiator is pretty small. So I have to cool that thing. I have to cool that thing with a relatively small radiator, and the 283 will definitely cool. The other thing is they make really great vacuum, believe it or not. Now I know you can screw with them a little bit, and my favorite can to run in them is like the Street Master or something, because my feet, everybody knows I have bad feet. So I try to run power brakes when I can. I'll hide the power booster, but in one way or another. But I have I have bad feet, so I always try to get power brakes. And 283s make great vacuum for your power brakes. So that's cool there. I saw one guy that comes up. He's a 327 guy. TB can't read the other thing. Yeah, he's 327 guy. 327s are great motors too. They wind and make power like you can't imagine. Not quite as easy to cool as a 283, but they definitely make more power there. And the benefit of a 327 over a 283, which probably we're talking about stuff that everybody on here knows about, but because of the 4-inch bore, you can run the large valve Chevy heads on a 327. You cannot do that in a 283. Although if you're lucky and you do enough hunting, you can find a set of Fuelie heads with the small valves in, and they were out there. And I just had a set. There's a set on the Vicky Roadster I just sold, but they're kind of like not as plentiful as the large valve heads, but they will work on a 283 barely. But you can you can get them to work on there, a little creative work on it. But that makes the big valves in the 283 kind of knock the shit out of the mid range a little bit, but they do help up top. So
That's what's
you can
going
tell
in
the difference.
your next build, right? Your
Yep, yep, yep. I
parts are plentiful,
yep,
aftermarket's plentiful, or
yep. And the thing of it is the reason I'm like really into it is because of they're reliable. I mean,
yeah.
I can take this thing anywhere. I love to drive. Once I finish, I'll just drive the wheels off. It'll probably I just had the first seat upholstered, actually upholstered, on any car I ever built. I've always just had blankets and sheets on and who knows what. And I actually got myself into, I think it was Street Rodder magazine one time because we went to the Wildwood and we were on the board. I had just foam squares cut for my seats. I didn't even have. It just looks so horrible. I got an Indian blanket out of one of the shops on the boardwalk and a whole bunch of big safety pins. They sold like this bag with like 50 safety pins in. And I got all these safety pins. And Rose and I, my wife and I, we like wrapped these seats in this Indian blankets with like 50 safety pins everywhere, holding them together in the back. And Street Rodder magazine was down doing an article on the show down there magazine, and it said, "We want this guy doing our upholstery." It was pretty cool. That was fun. But that goes back. But we got that was a fond memory. I couldn't believe that picture got in there. That was actually the predecessor to the red roadster that we were in the club with originally, when I
Right.
had that one. Yeah, that was the flat black one that I built. And, I had some stuff I wanted to change. So I built a second car very similar. It looked very similar, but it is, you know, pretty neat,
Yes.
you know, but,
Yeah. I mean,
hey,
just trying to locate parts now. I got all right, here's another problem that we have today
yeah,
in society because I found something I want and found something I need for my car. It's out in California, and
yeah.
I had to ship a hat. Somebody bought I just gave you an example. Somebody bought one of my hats, and I take it and I ship it. And I usually ship it like UPS mail because it's the cheapest, whatever. It was $12.35 for a little box like this to just to
Mhm.
send a hat. It was not even, I can't even tell you. And it wasn't even going far. It was going to I think it was going to Rhode Island. It was $12. So
Yeah.
how am I gonna buy something for $300 and then spend $300 to ship it? I mean, it's absolutely
Oh, yeah.
insane. So
Oh,
I'm,
it's
I'm
insane trying to have like a body shipped or something. You used to be able to do that. Not so much anymore. You got to find things that are closer. I have a body for this 27 Roadster that I'm going to go to Connecticut and pick up because, or Rhode Island, I think it's Rhode Island. It's New England somewhere. I'm going to go pick it up because I'm not going to pay to have it shipped. It's just, it's just not worth it. So I'll just go pick it up.
you know
And
what? While I still have it in my head, when I bought my bumpers for my old
mhm,
the shipping, I mean, they did a beautiful job, and the chrome came out wonderful. But just to ship my bumpers was $1,500.
yeah. Oh, I
I mean,
believe it. Yeah,
I
it's
mean, it's
nuts.
absolutely insane.
Well, well, just look at like Speedway. It used to be if you spent $100 at Speedway, it was free shipping. You know what I mean?
Right?
Now it is $175 to get free shipping. I'm not complaining. It's expensive to ship. They've got some kind of golden deal because, I don't know, maybe they ship so much stuff that they get like a special price, but they ship Amazon. And I just got a set uh, of seat sliders in for from Speedway. It was the only thing I sent for. It was I missed them on an order, and I sent for this set of seat sliders. It was $36 for the seat sliders and $20 to ship them.
Wow.
So that was that was over half of what the damn things cost again just to get them shipped.
Now, do you think swap meets are actually going to be more popular due to the fact that you can't buy things and ship them anymore because it's just ridiculous.
Um, swap meets are always good. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if this makes sense or not. It seems like a lot of the good stuff is not out there anymore. I think we're just getting to the point where the people who know what they want have acquired tons of this stuff, and so much of it's been built into cars and half finished cars that it's just not out there right now. Plus, a lot of stuff has been lost. There's no doubt about that. I've seen the number of bodies I've seen. I just went with a friend of mine, and I found the car. It wasn't something I wanted, but he kind of wanted it. And we bought a 34 Chevy two-door that a guy had started to chop on. And this was his third one that he had tried to chop. So he destroyed two bodies prior to getting this one, and this one's destroyed, so we're going to have to fix it. But
Wow.
we brought that one out of the Jersey Shore area. We were in Tom's River, actually. I hope he's not on here tonight. I wasn't cutting
So
on him.
so basically, like, the cars are gone because the parts are gone because everybody's cutting them, chopping them, channeling them. I mean,
Yeah,
uh,
it's great if they're putting them back on the road. I think there's a lot of unfinished cars sitting out there. A lot of the deals right now are on cars that are half finished. Unfortunately, a lot of guys, I think, have drastically overvalued what they think they can get for an unfinished car. Does that make sense? How I'm putting it? You know?
well, I agree with you on that. I know there's a lot of work that goes involved in, you know, sectioning and chopping and channeling and putting a
Mhm.
car back together. And then, I don't know, they get tired of it and they sell it. But
Mm,
if it's not done correctly, it's not worth
bingo.
it's not worth nothing. I mean, to
Yeah,
somebody who
you're
wants
right. You're
to,
right. It's not even worth the sum of the parts. And
right.
a lot of guys, a lot of guys who are kind of new to the hobby or something. It's their first car they build. They figure, well, I got this thing pushing around on four wheels. It's probably halfway done. Nah, you're about a quarter of the way done, maybe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the hard stuff is yet to come.
I-
And the one thing that I would pass along after doing this for like 50 plus years or whatever, longer than that, sadly enough, about 60 years now. But the that is scary. It's been more than 60 years I've been building these things. But
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
I had to think about that one. But the thing that a lot of these guys don't understand is that they should they should actually go, and if you have to pay a little extra money to get a decent body, oh man, do it. The most expensive body you're going to find is that total clapped out piece of junk that nobody else wants, and they're selling for $1,000. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Uh, don't even don't don't even go there unless you're willing to commit to like mega late nights in the shop. You know, I toyed with I would, if I was going to build any car that I really love, I would build another sport coupe. And I know that's not a popular Model A body style, but I just can't find a body. You know what I mean?
Right.
And uh, I don't know. Maybe the thing to do is to build a chassis and hope that one shows up. Because with a Model A, you know, a two-door coupe, sport coupe, roadster, they all fit in the same chassis. Who cares? You know, but I uh, I would love to have a sport coupe,
Now
but
there's places out there. I'm not like I'm gonna say AMD, but there's no
mm,
there's places out there that are making repop Model A stuff, and they're
oh, Brookville.
I'm just saying, but they're it's not fiberglass. They're making
No,
steel bodies.
Brookfield is the big one. They make Brookfield, my blue roadster, my 31 that that I was running in the club there for a while. That was a Brookfield body. It was a brand new Model A body, totally unscrewed up, no rust whatsoever. It came in red oxide primer, and it was perfect. It wasn't perfect. It still took a bunch of body work. I'm on with Joe. Yeah, it still took a bunch of body work. It was not perfect. Brookfield bodies are not perfect from the factory. They're about as good as an original Model A body, which wasn't perfect from the factory. But I mean, they're really good. I would take one in a heartbeat. Brookfield body now, you know, they're advertising them. They're selling them for around $8,500 or so. You know, depending who you're buying it from. They do not sell direct. The last I knew, you had to buy one through one of their authorized dealers. The You can buy them from the factory, but you have to pay list price, and that's, you know, probably not the best way to buy them since a lot of the dealers discount them. And um, but a Brookfield body is around $8,500. But then till you put like the dash rail in there, the dash, you put the seat risers in, the back,
Right.
around 11, 12 grand for a nicely going to set that on deuce rails as opposed to an A-frame. You know, if you're going to set it on deuce rails, and that's not a high boy, then you know it's another grand for a set of like you know, like Rodworks sub rails or something, or make your own if you have the ability to do so. So you know, it's that's nice. But then you sit down and you think, if you had to buy a roadster body, most roadster bodies right now, I'd probably say 5 to 5,500 for a roadster body that needs some patch panels and whatnot. You know,
Yeah.
if you take that to a shop and you have the patch panels put into it, you have it soda blasted, you know, to clean the last 80 years of gunk off of it, and you take it to a shop and have the metal work done that you want to have done to it, and then you know, get it into primer, you're probably there or more. You know what I mean? You're probably over that.
I mean,
And
you could buy a stock Model A, let's just say, with the four banger in it for,
mhm,
10, 12,000 and for
yeah, have
something
the
that,
whole car.
yeah, for the whole car. So,
Yeah.
but
It's like you have to count that stuff a cheap hobby. But on the other hand, okay, on eBay right now, there's a company out of Rhode Island. This one I'm talking about is, I don't have a problem with glass bodies, believe it or not. As much as a traditionalist as I am, I do not have a problem with glass bodies. But there is a company right now that's selling for $9.95, is selling a beautiful builder, uh, very high quality fiberglass 27 roadster pickup body. And this is with the dash, inner and outer doors, Obviously, you have to hang the doors. I mean, you have to put the floor in it. It's got a rail on the bottom, but no floor in it.
Right.
It's something you've got to do some work to. But they're selling that thing for $995, and you know, for a body that basically requires body work, uh, that's a bargain 10 times over. So, you can't beat that with a stick. And yeah. So it makes me think. Believe me, it definitely makes me think. And I have that's like high up on my list there. It'd be way less expensive than trying to do anything else. You know,
Well,
although if I could find a sport coupe body, that would be nice. I'm in
yeah.
no rush. I
There's
got
a
plenty
lot.
of time.
There's a lot of good shows this year. Actually, we touched on this a couple weeks ago about the quality of old car shows. I'm not a big fan of any bring whatever you want, like bring your
Mm,
'92 Volvo or Saab, whatever. But
yeah,
obviously everybody knows 1970 and back. Even
mm,
1970s kind of itchy. But there's a lot of nice shows out there that every weekend there's somewhere to go. So,
oh
man,
yeah,
I'm seeing all kinds of stuff that we didn't have, 10, 15 years ago. There was just a couple major shows and that was it. Man, every weekend
yeah,
there's something. Nostalgia
oh
Drag
yeah.
thing.
It's
There's the Dead Man's
it's
Curve show. There's
insane the amount of things up there.
Yes, yes, yes. So there's something out there for
And
everybody. Um, I just you're not going to bring down the prices of anything anymore. I just
and it's like if you're going to the grocery store. I mean, you're going to anything else. It costs more than it used to. Actually, if you can, I'm on this kick about building this inexpensive roadster, and I just want to build one. Will I keep it? Will I drive it for a while? Yeah, maybe. Maybe I'll just pass it along to one of my buddies when it's done.
yeah.
But I want to see actually how inexpensively I can build a roadster. And if you're, on on your show here on Sunday nights, every once in a while I'll report in with
Well,
where we're at currently.
we're gonna do live from your garage
Yeah,
too. But yeah, that'd be great. I think everybody would love to see how inexpensive you can build a hot rod if you
yeah.
really, really do some research.
And one that looks really good, not something that you put the Groucho nose and glasses on to drive. It's
Well,
it's like
I gotta say, I've seen some really bad examples of what somebody did to something, and
yeah,
but I got everything you touch, it comes out wonderful. Just the stance, everything, the ergonomics,
yeah,
the how you shorten it, it looks proportional. I mean, you got it nailed at
yeah.
this point,
Good
and
lines. Yeah,
I think a lot of people could learn from that. And
yeah,
unfortunately, a lot of people do trial and error, or I don't know. I
yeah.
don't know what they
Or what
did.
you got.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
build what you got. And the thing of it is I think the reason a lot of I can just around this area here, guys, I know, the number of cars that are stagnating in somebody's garage is beyond belief because they're trying to make them too perfect. You
Yeah.
can make you can make just about anything work and make it look good if you keep proportion well. Don't do anything too goofy, and also, do your research. Go back and look at some of the stuff that was built in the my favorite era. My favorite area was probably from like 1960 to 65. Hot rods from that area. They were was some really, really great cars being built then, you know. And the 50s cars, I built a bunch of those that, you know, you've seen some pics already and you've seen some of them around. And I built them and they're interesting cars to build. You know, the flatties are fun. You know, there's all kinds of neat stuff you can do with them. I'm not so crazy about them as drivers. They're not as much fun on the open road, you know. For me, nothing's more fun than getting on the Garden State Parkway and opening it up and just, you know,
Hmm.
winding your hair and a full tank of gas heading for the shore. It doesn't get any better. I mean, that's it. And and you know, I think that uh I need to build something that is inexpensive that anybody can build and we'll see how it goes. You know what I mean? I need to source some parts. I'm going to see the best I could do. I could keep it a little less expensive by going with like, you know, some kind of generic GM rear, except that I know the Banjo looks so good from behind.
Right.
It allows the Banjo allows me to put the uh, the wheels I want on the car with the stub axle sticking out. You know,
Yeah.
really, you know all about that stuff. That stuff just looks good. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
don't have to do anything to it. You don't need anything expensive. Just clean it up well and paint it, and it looks great. You know,
Yeah.
and then likewise the same thing up front. You've seen some of my backing plates that I make for the disc brake conversions, where it looks like you're running a set of drum brakes on the front. Very hard to tell you're not. And, you know, at 50 mile an hour, it looks great. And, but those things work really, really well. Use a set of 46 to 48 backing plates. There's so many of them out there that have been chewed up because guys didn't grease uh, the shoes, you know, and they chew into the backing plates. So there's so many of them over there that are unusable, you know, and that that works out really well. Making a set of those for up front, and then you know, I could probably it'd probably be a better road car, and once again be way less expensive if I just went with an aluminum power glide. Aluminum power glides, you know, everybody cuts on those things left and right. They are a great transmission, not the cast iron ones, but the aluminum ones. I think they're from 62 or 63 on up. They changed to aluminum from the cast iron power glides. And they're 100 pounds lighter. They're small. They really hook up in a rod. You only have two gears. You got low and high. They are a terror in between. They're really hook up well. Nice tight trans, you know, that's why they use them in the a lot of these rear engine dragsters use power glides in them, you know, quarter mile dragsters. And
Right.
they work really, really well. So that's a possibility too. I may, if I can find a Banjo rear, I may do that and just throw an open drive conversion on it, you know what I mean? And run the power glide in back of the 283, you know. I
Yeah.
think that would be really
I,
nice.
I guess I got to keep my eyes out for some 283s because I know I've seen them and uh, I don't know a lot of like you said sometimes ignorance is bliss and it works to my advantage when somebody doesn't know, you know, they don't know what they're selling, but
But, well, you know how
I
well
like
they run.
those. Yeah, I like finding like estate sales. I mean, I don't have a lot of time, but when I do go to
Yeah,
like an estate sale, boy, I find some stuff, you know,
no,
buried
yeah,
somewhere that nobody knows what it is, and you know, I make out. So I like
yeah,
going there, but car parts is tough sometimes. You really
yeah,
was
yeah. Well, a friend of mine just maybe 2 weeks ago, he sent me a message. He was at an estate sale outside of Pine Grove, PA, not far from here, and a 36 Ford, uh, tub, a Cabrio tub, a four-door tub, complete. I don't know if it ran or anything, but it was a really nice body on the thing. Uh, Interior pretty trashed. Went for $2,000 at auction.
Wow.
I mean, you could almost flip the grill and hood sides for that. It was like nuts,
Yeah.
and that was that was just 2 weeks ago. You just got to be here at the right time. But I'm thinking about I the criteria for this roadster project we keep talking about. Is I want it to be made with stuff that anybody can get their hands on. Nothing that's you gotta everybody has, if I went searching, I could find a cow and I could roll some doors and make myself, but I know that most guys couldn't do that. So I want to do it all with parts that just about anybody could do. And you've had a 283 and you're 48 for a while, you're 46 or whatever that was. And that thing, you know how well they run. And they don't have tons of bottom end torque, but they have RPMs out the yin,
Well, in
which is why.
comparison to the flathead that was in it, it was night and day.
Yeah, I know.
And
Yeah,
you know
way
what? I
more
drove
horses.
that thing. I threw that thing together. I was out of time. I just drove. I drove it. I didn't even have I didn't have anything adjusted. I don't even think the rockers were adjusted. I mean, they were clanging, and that thing drove. I'm just saying, yeah. I had
Bring
to
you home
custom.
every time.
I had to take the exhaust because the exhaust. I'm going from a Ford. I'm going from a Ford to a Chevy motor, and the exhaust on the exhaust manifold, it was hitting the steering box. I had to
Yeah,
cut it and turn it and weld
yeah,
it back on the exhaust port. Yeah, that
yeah.
was fun.
Oh yeah,
You know
yeah.
what?
They're cool and
That
yeah.
that
Go
was
ahead.
that was before. Obviously, it was before like YouTube, and it was before um the channel and everything. But all those stuff and all that, just think about all the stuff you did that there's no documentation or other than a
Oh
picture.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
unbelievable amount of stuff.
So
Yeah, and the parts that I screwed up, that I don't know if you've ever saw Alvin's pickup, that blue one with the Packard taillights on,
yeah,
fin
yeah, 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 yeah,
taillights.
yeah, the blue
Yeah,
one, yeah.
yeah, that used to be my pickup,
Oh
and he
really?
put the yeah, but I had a regular pickup bed on. He put the Packard back on it. I did everything else. But if you look at that thing, the grill on that, the outside of it is 35 pickup, and the inside is a 34 Ford straight grill. And I actually merged the two together. That's why that thing looks so good in the front. It's actually
Yeah.
a 34 passenger grill. But that used to be my gray pickup. That was the one, and I was running a what I have in that thing, a 383 Chevy, and he took it out and put the 409 in. I didn't have the 409 in it. That one's got way more money than I do. But
Yeah, well,
he,
if you have money, you can do anything. That car's won a lot of awards. I've been on
I bet,
shows with that car. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
I've
that's
seen it. Just
that thing's
just
been around.
I saw it. I think twice. It was at McCungy. I know for a fact,
Yeah,
and it was at another show down the street from me. I seen it. It gets around.
yeah. Yeah, it's like
Beautiful.
metallic blue.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
beautiful.
that was my pickup. That's built on a set of AD rails, like up to 54 Chevy rails. I reworked those Chevy rails for that frame. That's why it sits so nice. Because it's not on a 35 frame. And that was a really neat truck. I'll tell you, it drove beautiful. I loved it. And but it was in gray primer when I sold to Alvin. He took the regular. I just had a 35 type body on it. Who knows what it came off of. But I just had a regular pickup body on. He took it off, put that Packard tail body thing he's got on there. not my idea of a good time. He loves it. I know it draws a ton of attention,
Yeah,
and
very.
it's a really neat thing. Yeah, so we should. So I don't know if we can do this or not. We were talking a little earlier tonight about the museum show at the AACA in Hershey.
Yeah,
And if anybody who is into old hot rods has a chance, it's not a huge exhibition, maybe about 40 cars or so inside, but really, really neat stuff at the AACA museum. It's there until the first week of May. And I was over on President's Day, and they were letting everybody in for $10. So, it's usually like 14 or something, I think, to get in. Still well worth it. And their regular cars and motorcycle collection is incredible over there. But it was kind of neat, and there were some cars that I've worked on already in that exhibition. So that was fun too. Some local guys, some big name stuff. It was kind of cool. They have Monogram's Big T there, the uh, the one that everybody had a model of when you were a kid. We all had
yeah.
the red T. Well, the real car is there. It's pretty cool. It's a lot neater than I thought it would be. And they have the Pearson Brothers coupe there, which I always thought was horribly ugly. And when you see it in person, it is incredible. There's some Trog cars there, some nice roadsters, a load of really nice Deuce coupes and stuff, and all kinds of stuff, pickups, whatever. It's nice blend of hot rods, plus some local guys with some semi-ratty stuff, very traditional. Everything, and there's nothing there that's like flaky or stupid. And
I
they even have, yeah,
I like
yeah,
ratty traditional.
yeah,
I like
yeah. Well,
traditional, and I like that. That's
they have Matt's Deuce Coupe with the olds in over there. That's really nice.
I I
So,
I all those cars at SEMA, whatever, for the I rather just take an old ratty traditional car. You know,
yeah,
I don't know. Well, I guess if you have
yeah,
money, you know, money buys you anything, but it doesn't mean you can build it yourself. So you still have
yeah.
to hire
There's a lot of
somebody.
neat stuff over there. There's a lot of neat stuff over there. So, it's some fun stuff. It was kind of fun seeing some cars that I had a hand in, no matter large or small, uh, in a museum like that. That's a world-class museum there. There's no doubt about it. They,
Yeah,
uh,
it's not
they,
that
uh,
far either. It's
no,
right
it's right
now, right in
outside of Hershey
Allentown.
Park.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you can drop the wife off to the casino and she can have a good time while you go to the car show, like,
Um, I've been there a couple times. I know they have a lot of race cars, a lot of Mario Andretti cars. They
yeah,
did it. They're always switching their inventory.
yeah. The one up in Allentown, what's called World of Wheels in Allentown,
Yeah.
right over the bridge in town there. They have some great old stuff in that museum as well. And the one that's the two that are really, really good. Obviously, Three Dog Garage in Boyertown is just off the chain if you can get in, and they're very um, very selective about getting in there. You have to like almost get a group and arrange for a day where you can go. And that's really good. And um, the Eastern States Motor Museum is incredible, and the Motor Museum in just outside off of Route 100 up by Allentown, where Pete Trumbauer is the curator. Uh, they have stuff in there that is beyond belief. I mean, everything
Right.
from Eddie Spack's Ford track car to uh, probably 100 soapbox cars from the 1930s on up to great circle track cars and flathead stuff and incredible. Three Dog has famous stuff. I don't know if they have the Kooky car on exhibition yet. I know they had, I'm pretty sure that's who had acquired it. And I don't think they, I don't know if they have it on exhibition. They were restoring it. I know that. So that's pretty cool. But they had like they have Chico Gadama's car from the 1950s in there. There's the 36, America's Most Beautiful Roadster, all the way up to like later drag racing stuff like Sox and Martin and Sox and Martin Hauler. I mean, uh, Ricky Nelson's car from the TV show, all kinds of great stuff. If anybody can ever get into that museum down there, it is so well worth the effort. I've been through twice, and each time I go, they got to kind of kick me out because I just want to look at one more thing.
They want to
Yeah.
turn the lights off and go home, right?
Yeah, it's like, okay, get this guy out of here. You know what I mean? It's but those are all excellent. Any of those museums are well worth the effort of getting to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've never been to like the West Coast, to the LA museums or anything, the big ones, but I can only imagine it must be, make what little hair I have left turn white. It is white, but
I know it's a lot warmer out there right now, so
yeah,
but yeah, I guess I'm gonna be off tomorrow. I already took off because of the blizzard and everything, so I'm gonna
yeah,
get. I got a lot to do here. Um, I ordered a whole bunch of stuff as far as like material, foam, a half inch, quarter inch foam, glue. I order stuff and then it like I get like the half inch foam came, but the quarter inch stuff didn't, and it just I was
yeah.
gonna come out to
No, I
your
told you where to
place.
get it.
I know, but
Yeah.
I can't drive out there in a snowstorm. But
No, I know.
I try to order it from the same place, and this time I didn't, and I got to stop doing that. I got to order from the
Yeah.
same place I normally get my material from because
Mhm.
I thought I'd get it quicker, and then it didn't. I didn't get it quicker because
Yeah.
now normally now people are coming on for I do live sewing upholstery here now, so that's usually going to be a Tuesday Wednesday night thing. But
Mhm.
if you're not available or and I have other things because I'm getting backed up with I just picked up another project that's coming in too upholstery wise. So I mean if nothing's going on, I'll do live upholstery because that seems to be fascinating. I
Yeah.
find that I can't believe the numbers I get for doing live upholstery, but yeah, I mean
Oh, yeah.
I still have to do it. I might as well have people come watch. They seem to like it.
Mm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Neat. I tried that one time. Forget it. I'll let somebody like you or, my other buddies do the upholstery.
Well,
Oh, hell,
Jerry does a
yeah,
great job.
yeah, he does. Yeah, Jerry, I wouldn't mention any names, but Jerry usually does my stuff, you know what I mean? And, the, uh, it's that or I'll put Rose to work with some Indian blankets and some safety pins.
Right, right.
It works.
But Larry, I appreciate it coming on tonight, and uh, we'll do this until I can't do it anymore. I guess
Yeah.
we'll talk hot rods.
Yeah, well, hopefully next time we'll be started and we can kind of uh, get some pics from the shop on how the cheapo roadster is going. So
Yeah. Yeah. Twist. No, I'm working on a '67 Charger, but uh, all right. Before you go, I know you're not a Larry. You're not a big muscle car fan because you're a
yeah,
different
okay,
generation.
yeah,
But before I leave this earth, I'm gonna have a '68 Charger, even if I
yeah,
have to spend 25,000 for a basket case and redo all the metal and build it. Uh,
yep,
but I can still buy one for about 55,000 done.
yeah,
But I can't believe the prices of that stuff. It's just
yeah.
it's
Well,
it's insane.
I had it for a while. I had a '68 Super B with a 446 pack from the factory 4-speed car that was all option delete. It wasn't a postcard; it was a hardtop with the bench seats. And can you imagine what that thing would be worth today? And
Uh, yeah,
insane.
I mean,
And I had that since '73.
right.
I know I got rid of it in '73 because I traded it in on, I saw Diamonds Are Forever with James Bond,
Yeah,
and I loved the Mustang thing, and I wanted to try to stand one on two wheels, which I know you can't do.
yeah.
And but I went out and bought a 351 Cobra Jet, a '73, which is the last year of the Bloody Mustang. I traded my '68 in on it. It sat on the lot because the gas crisis hit. And in the meantime, I only owned the Mustang for a month and I totaled it. I mean, I was street racing with it and I put it over a bridge. Game over. So I went back and about 2 months later bought my Super B back for less than I got on the trade in. And it was pretty cool. I should have kept it. It was neat, you know. I've had some muscle cars. I'm not averse to muscle cars. I'm just more into older
Well,
stuff.
yeah, no, I agree. I mean, that's it's a totally different animal. I mean, it's still got a motor and four wheels, but it's just a different era. A
Yeah,
unibody is totally different. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
just true.
I mean, when I was born, my dad had a 69 Road Runner, and he had to sell it because they couldn't get the. I don't know. We didn't have car seats back then either, but something to do with, I don't know. I came along, so it would have been nice to inherit that, but he got rid of it before I was born.
Yeah,
But, um,
yeah, things are gone, you know. We all own cool cars. Get another cool one.
but I'm working on this. I got a tip on this Charger sitting out in the woods somewhere, and
Hmm.
it's been sitting there. He said since the '80s, and he
Hmm.
said I think there's a tree growing through it, or there's a tree. It's sitting out in the woods, but he said everything's in it. It's all rotted, obviously the seats, but I'm going to reupholster all the
Yeah,
seats anyway. But I might be able to get this, and I'm going to record the whole trip picking this thing up. I can't wait to see
that'd be
what it
cool.
is. I don't want to get too excited because it might be completely gone, or it might be all intact and something cool like have a Hemi in
Yeah.
it.
Well, good luck. Have fun.
I doubt it. I doubt it. But
Yeah,
that would be nice. Hey,
yeah, that's
all right, I'm
yeah.
gonna
So
get
it
going
sounds
because
pretty cool.
I got a lot of snow to shovel. I think tomorrow I got the
All right.
snowblower ready, and I'm gonna get to bed. But Larry,
Yeah.
thanks for coming on. We do this every Sunday night. Uh, hit the notification button because uh, we do this every Sunday night, and also do live upholstery Wednesday nights, 7 o'clock. So click and like and subscribe. Larry, I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for coming on tonight, and I'll
See
see you
you on
again
the
on the
next.
next one. Well,
See you later.
all right. Good night.
Night.